Hi there, thanks for joining me today. My name is Lindsay and I'm with Good Morning Sunshine Sleep Services. And today I'm going to talk with you about nightmares, how to prevent them from happening too often, and what to do when they actually happen. So, first off, all children have nightmares. This is very normal from time to time. Children from the ages 2 to 4 tend to have them more frequently than other ages. This is because this developmentally is a time that reasonable fear is setting in their minds. They've had enough experiences now to know that there are things in life that will hurt them. For example, Susie used to love looking and poking and picking up bugs, but then she got her first bee sting, and now she's scared of all of them, or at least a lot more hesitant to touch them. There's also maybe Bobby, who never noticed the weather before or didn't pay much attention to it at least, and now is suddenly very worrisome when it starts to cloud up and even look like rain. Turns out he has been catching the news when mom and dad have it on in the evening and has been hearing about the destruction and the latest hurricane that's come through. So, another reason that this age has more nightmares than others is because their imagination is beginning to take off. I'm sure you parents that have a child with this age will wonder often at times, like, where they even come up with these stories. Their imagination does filter into their dreams a bit. So, as I said before, nightmares are a normal part of development for children from time to time. However, they occur more often when a child is experiencing stress or not getting the amount of sleep that they need. So, here are some tips that you can do to help prevent nightmares from happening too often. Again, they are going to occur from time to time, but we can help keep them from happening all the time. So, first tip is, as I said, they need to get enough sleep. So, ensuring an early bedtime and good sleep hygiene will go a very long way. If they're on the younger toddler end, a nap probably is still needed to prevent overtiredness. Number two, having a calming bedtime routine. I think that even dimming the lights and having a quiet activity 15 minutes before bedtime routine starts can really help. So, a calming bedtime routine is important because it supports the production of melatonin, which helps us fall asleep quickly. Part of the routine that's really great is doing a warm bath, reading a couple of books, singing a couple of soothing songs. If you have a child that's 4 years old or older, consider doing Nidra Yoga for 10 minutes as part of the bedtime routine. There's tons of videos and audios out there for free for children on Nidra Yoga, where it focuses on breathing and meditation. And you can always just turn it off at 10 or 15 minutes when it's been enough time. So, step number three is processing. So, with my elementary teacher background, I found such a great need for processing and problem solving when challenges arrive with children. There's an abundance of children books out there with characters that overcome an obstacle or specifically a nightmare, and this opens the door to a conversation with your child. So discuss what happened to the character, how they felt, what they did to overcome their fears, and then let your child process their own fears by sharing. Telling you about that nightmare or something that they might have been afraid of and what they can do going forward to overcome it as well. For children that are scared of monsters at night or being in the room alone, I especially love the classic There's a Monster in My Closet, and you can talk about that way. Number four, only show age-appropriate television shows or read age-appropriate books. Remember, their imaginations are blooming right now and can run off with something that you might not have even considered to be scary to them. So if they did see something and now they're dwelling on it, create that opportunity to process through it together. Number five, discuss challenges going on in your child's life that can cause stress. Very small things can cause stress and interrupt their sleep. And it could be very big things as well. So it could be as small as that they're going to start potty training, and this is a big new factor in their life. It could be as big as parents getting separated or COVID that's going on or school is starting soon. Talking to them about this during the day, acknowledging their feelings, listening to them, and letting them work through it is the first step. And number six, give them a security object for bedtime that makes them feel safe and happy. Great ones to use are Lubbies or stuffed animals, a blanket, or sometimes even one of mom's shirts that smell like her can make all the difference in helping them soothe. And the final tip that I have for you is teach coping strategies for their big feelings. I especially like deep breathing, so with counts. If you have an older child, you can do a 4-7-8. So they would breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and breathe out for 8. If you have a younger child, do a 2-3-4 in the same way. So those were all tips that you can do to help prevent them from happening too often. Again, they're going to happen, but we can minimize them. But what happens when they do happen or have already happened? You've been proactive, but these nightmares are going to still occur from time to time. Well, the first thing you need to do is when they happen is to go in and comfort your child. They're scared. So give them a hug, rub their back just to get them to calm down and let them know that you're there. I do caution laying down with them until they fall asleep because, as many of you know, that they might end up wanting and expecting this more often, and so you could be creating a bad habit from this experience. Keep those lights dim or at least very low. We know that light is very stimulating to the brain and will make it difficult for them to fall back asleep. Also, let them tell you about their dream. We've already talked about processing. This is a time that they can let you know how they're feeling, what happened, but then work through it with them. Remind them this was just a dream. We're here, we're safe, none of it is real. But do not disregard their feelings. It made them scared. Acknowledge it and start to work through it. Also, remind them, connect back to that book that you might have read. And how the character experienced this and was scared, but they were brave enough to overcome it in this way. And remind your child that they're brave too and that they are okay and they can get through this. If they're really scared and not wanting you to leave, tell them that you will do check-ins to make sure that they're okay. So I suggest doing 3 check-ins and about 10 minutes apart each time. If it makes them feel better when you're walking out the door, leave it open. And then every 10 minutes for those 3 times, poke your head in. And if they're awake, say a few words of comfort, not where you're engaging in a lot of conversation. You don't want to stimulate them more, but just to let them know that you're there and checking on them. On that 3rd check-in, let them know that it's the last one and that you'll see them in the morning when everyone's awake. The next morning, make sure you reserve some time for your child to tell you about that dream again and process through it. So I hope this information on nightmares was helpful for you today. If you have more questions on this topic or have a child that is struggling to sleep independently because of a past nightmare, reach out to me for a free consultation. So thank you and goodbye for now.